The laws have a simple premise. Certain actions almost always increase one's power. Happy Friday, everybody. Gene Clark back with my review of the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Just a reminder before we get started that I'm going to be putting out book summaries and reviews every week. I want to share the ones with you that I believe can help enhance and broaden your leadership skills. And I believe all these books have something to offer, and that's why I'm bringing them to you. So if you're interested in content like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on social media for more leadership updates. And if you've got a book that you would recommend that I review and summarize, or just want me to read just for fun, please let me know in the comment section down below. So with that said, let's jump into the 48 Laws of Power. So the 48 Laws of Power is a great book when it comes to really getting you to think about the ways you obtain power, the ways people lose power, and the different strategies behind, increasing, decreasing, and just controlling the power you have. However, I won't lie, I don't always read the beginning of the book. I don't read the summary, the intro. Sometimes I just open it up, start at chapter 1 and get going. And that's what I did here with the 48 Laws of Power. And at first, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little uncomfortable because you're going through and you're reading about these historical figures, some of them not such good people, and how they have used these laws to, go up the ranks and increase their power and go on to do some terrible things. Some of them not so much, but either way, they were all a little shady at times. And that makes you uncomfortable when you're reading it if you don't have those types of ambitions. What made me feel a lot better was when I actually watched some interviews of Robert Greene when he was talking about the book, why he wrote the book, his thought process behind it. And he wasn't so much looking to tell people, oh, this is how you're going to gain power. It was more, these are the laws of power, and you can accept them for what they are, but if you ignore them, somebody else is going to come along and they're going to pull a power play on you. So you need to know these laws so that you can know what others are doing to you, and just be a stand-up citizen, stand-up person. Obtain your power however you want to obtain your power. This is just more a don't let somebody come along and try to be shady, try to take your power in an underhanded way. Fun fact for you, originally Robert had planned this on being the 72 Laws of Power. Now, I don't know about you, that's intense. The 48 Laws of Power is intense enough. You can see this is a pretty thick book. It is very, very in-depth already. I don't know what he would have done if he would have kept it at 72, but I'm glad it's only 48. But just to kind of dive into it, my favorite part of the book was the stories. I already talked about this in my summary, but the way each chapter, which is a law, is laid out is you get an intro, then you get a story. You get a little summary of the story, whether it's success or failure. You get another story, and that one's the opposite. First one was a failure, second's a success, or vice versa. And then you hop into the rules surrounding that law, and then you're going to get generally a third story, and then you're going to summarize it up and move on. I like history. I loved hearing the stories, but the stories are what makes it a much easier read. It makes it much easier to get through. When you hear a title like the 48 Laws of Power and it's this thick and it's this big, that can be a little intimidating. That can be seem a little daunting, but it's really not. It's really an easy read, and the stories make it go much quicker, and they make it flow in a way that you can easily pick it up. You can read a chapter in no time, and you can put it down if you want to, because it does summarize it very quickly. And you could make this an annual type of read where every week I'm going to read one law and I'm going to focus on that law the whole week. Next week I'm going to read another law, and in 48 weeks you're done with the book. But as an alternative, you could pick up this book, and if you got the time, I've got a couple of kids, it wouldn't work for me, but if you got the time, you could probably knock it out in a weekend. But easily over the course of a week, you can read this whole book. As thick and big and intimidating as it looks, you can read the whole book. It's not boring. It flows. It's an easier read than you'd anticipate, and I really enjoyed it. I had a hard time putting it down most nights. Now, when I talk about the stories, if you took the stories out of the book, it's going to be a rather boring textbook book. It's going to be a little dull. It's not going to flow as nice. I mean, if you're getting an intro to the law, the rules of the law, the summary of the law, it's not going to be nearly as thick, but it's going to be a lot tougher to get through. And I like those real-world applications. I like understanding how the law is used in real life. And many, many, many examples in the book, but there are so many more examples out there of people, leaders throughout the ages, current leaders in the world, in business, and I'm sure many of them have used these laws to their advantage. And that goes into why I'm starting this channel, why I'm putting out these book reviews, because I don't necessarily think all of the quote-unquote leaders we have in the world today are the best leaders. I don't think we have all the best leaders leading various countries around the world or leading the biggest corporations in the world. I think you can look at many examples in the past of corruption in government, of corruption in business, of people that have gone in, gotten theirs, and then gotten out, and you've seen countries and companies collapse. So that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I think this book is so important for everybody to check out. Now, I've got 12 laws that are my favorite 12. That was the smallest number I could narrow it down to, that I do want to share with everybody. Before I do that, I wanted to give you my biggest takeaway from the 48 Laws of Power, and that is not how you can obtain power through reading the book and through applying these laws to your life, but more or less how you can prevent people from taking your power by knowing these laws and knowing what people will do in certain situations, and how you can combat those and how you can spot it from a distance before it happens. The power's out there, somebody's going to take it, and if you are in a position of power, you've got any kind of power that you're not abusing, that someone else is trying to come along and take from you, now through the 48 Laws of Power, you've got the tools and the ability to defend against that individual. All right, now for, like I said, my top 12 favorite laws of the 48. I really did want to narrow this down just to a top 5, but I couldn't even narrow it down to a top 10. So here are my favorite 12 laws. I'm going to read them off. Law number 1, never outshine the master. Law number 4, always say less than necessary. Number 5, so much depends on reputation, defend it with your life. Law number 9, win through actions, not through arguments. Law number 19, know who you are dealing with and do not offend the wrong person. Law number 25, recreate yourself. Law number 30, make your accomplishments seem effortless. Law number 35, master the art of timing, very important. Law number 38, think as you wish but behave as others. Law number 41, avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. I think that one's rather obvious, speaks for itself. Law number 44, disarm and infuriate using the mirror effect. Always fun with political discussions. And law number 45, and I'll give you why I like this one so much, preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. That is something that I really struggle with. I am more of a go in, rip the Band-Aid off, make the change, and continue on. But that doesn't always go over so well, and especially if you're walking into a different situation and you're asking people, nobody likes change, you're asking people to change the way they've been doing something for a while, because you see something that they might not, but you just need to gradually change that over time. So law number 45, another very important one. So those are my top 12. If you want to learn more about those 12, or if you want to learn what the other 36 are, you're going to have to check out the book. That's what I want everybody to do, so I don't want to give you too much. But that's it for me today. My question for everybody out there, if you've read the book, what is your favorite law of the 48? If you haven't read the book, which of my 12 that I listed off sounds the most intriguing to you, and why? Please let me know in the comments section down below, and I will see y'all next time.